All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Phlox'em and more KAGI awesomeness. We are in the quarterfinals of the top cut here. Got some awesome players here. Some very long-time veterans of KAGI League. Some very good adaptive players and some decks we've maybe seen before. So we've got jtrussell versus Fabulosing. Let's get into the decks here. jtrussell bringing Mass Mutation Xanalak, the Spirit Singer of Cards. This is not a deck that I recognize. Not sure if it's kind of a new one he's been playing with or something he's been playing all season, but as far as Mass Mutation goes, this looks like a pretty straightforward, not straightforward necessarily in terms of playing it. It does have Curiosaurus. Okay, so that's going to be one of those interesting cards, but you're not seeing a lot of like the super strong kind of cards in here. There's another dab, there's no autoencoder, it doesn't even have a logo, so the efficiency is pretty low. So definitely sort of a, have to get value out of what you find when you find it. Double Essence Scale is really fun. Definitely one of my favorite artifacts. Let's see, we've got double Thero, double Faust, Cornicen, Shrix. Okay, so plenty of things that are going to get you value off that Curiosaurus. Defense Initiative, Monument of Faust can kind of remove some amber in case your opponent's able to use that against you. Has the Mark of Dis with some extra damage pips. So the Mark of Dis with the damage pip on it can actually be really annoying if your opponent only has one card or one creature on the board and it's 3 power. You can't actually hit it with that unless you ping yourself or have your own creatures to ping. So kind of an interesting one there. It does have the Fangtooth Cavern with the Key Frog. How much amber are we making in Untamed? Not a ton. The Post Pixies is pretty interesting, right? That's one of those cards that's so easy to forget when you're playing I mean, just when you're playing, it's not a card you see very often. It just seems really unassuming, and it can just really come back to bite you. Got Flume Cephaloist, so lots of steel hate here, which will play in actually a little, pretty decently. That could really impact here, but really fun. Kind of one of those mid to high range decks. And then the other side, we've got Fabulosing's deck, Alma O Panpadro, the Forgotten. This is one that we've seen her play a lot. I've played with this deck. It is just what Fabulosing is bringing to adaptive very often. Really, really cool deck and very successful. She's been very successful with this deck. So really fun one. It's got the near future lens in there, but also doing a lot of stealing stuff with the Equidon. Some interesting plays there with like the Azure Tooth. This rock hurling giant can just get crazy value with all the discard pips. You can basically just get that down, play your other 2 houses for the rest of the game, but just keep killing stuff off because of the rock hurling giant there. Memorialize the Fallen, always a very, very big amber control card, especially in a matchup like this. That Key Frog could be really important, and it gets around things like the Post Pixies. But we do have, let's see, Gemcoat Vendor, we've got Out Negotiate, Generous Offer, and Rogue Operation. So plenty of stealing here that could definitely doesn't want to see both the Cephaloist and the Post Pixies down. So will be really interesting to see. Not a whole lot of capture here. There's a couple of capture pips. Oh, and we've got the bodies. So actually, the Curiosaurus is going to be interesting too. There is artifact control on JT's side, but it is just purging. So you play the future lens and then use it as long as you've got it. I think they've got our game up, and it is probably in beginner because this is what JT likes to do to me. Oh, fabulous. Not seen the new TCO interface, so that should be fun. Welcome in, Quick Draw. I'm excited for this matchup. I love both these players. They're good. They like interesting decks. Both very good adaptive players. So I mean, everyone we've seen has been awesome. The game earlier today was really cool between Damat and Good. I won't spoil what happened there if you didn't see it, but the winner of that match will be playing the winner of this one. So this is we get to kind of see a whole half of the semifinals get selected today, which is really fun. Okay, so we've got Mass Mutation deck will be going first every game. JT's deck going first. We've got Fabulosing up top on the GR deck, JT on the bottom on the Mass Mutation deck. As far as which of these has the advantage, I think when or if you hold the reclaimed is going to be a big deal. There's several important artifacts here. You've got the Soul Bomb, you've got the Sandhopper, and you have Near Future Lens. All of those are pretty tempting to hit because they're all good. Like JT's deck, it needs creatures to make Amber. Like there's some pips out there, but not enough where you're going to get past all this stealing, especially if Fabulosing is able to deal with some of that steal hate. There's no Infernuses or anything, so you're not going to be dealing with Amber that way. Most of your Amber is coming from Saurian, so if you ever kind of get into bad hands where you're running out of Saurian, that's where Fabulosing is going to be taking advantage. Fab's deck has, well, so it has the Soul Bomb, has the Lash Out, Fiery Jark. Yeah, there's a decent amount. Yeah, so that's also going to be tough. The Fiery Jark is actually really, really good against Curiosaurus. You can use that to your advantage. And you're going to have the Lee, which can bring it back. Fabulosing getting a pretty big board here. Sorry about the loading time on. Ooh. Oh, that's just my chat box in the way. TCO was kind of loading funny for me when I first got on here. But yeah, the Fiery Jar could be very, very interesting. Good thing for JT is no artifact control on Fabulosing's side. So these Essence Scales can just sit there. They can get tons of value off of a sticky board, especially with these big Saurian creatures if they're able to stick around. We do see a Mark of Dis right away on the Star Alliance. That damage pip coming down, and then a Dino Fiend going to Exalt to take out the Lee, which we'll be able to see easier once things load. Yeah, there's something funky going on. It still says I'm waiting on the ping. It is loading, just slowly. I don't think my internet's been doing funky. It seemed like it was a TCO thing, which JT just finished another match, so it seems like it's working. But ooh, all right, we've got the Near Future Lens coming down on Fab side early on. That'll be big. Discarding the Shopping Spree. Kind of a tough one to discard there. Oh wait, no. Yeah, played the Essence Entangler on the Dino Fiend, makes it a little bit weaker having the Amber on it. Near Future Lens shows Ornar Skullface on top. JT finding the Curiosaurus right away, already has that Amber on the Dino Fiend, so ready to start going with that. Going to be able to unstun the Pterodactyl here as well in the Saurian turn. Cornicin coming down. Some damage pips. Man, yeah, this is annoying. Beware the Ides with the damage pip, so able to actually get one creature killed so that the Beware the Ides can kill the other there. Pretty nice. Lots of damage pips in JT's deck. That could be a pretty big deal for dealing with Fabulosing's board. There's lots of ping damage. I don't think there's a true board clear in here though, right? Yeah, I could try refreshing. I don't want to miss too much. Yeah, what's weird is that like they're loading, it's just slow. Headhunter, Soul Bomb, Ornar Skullface. Looks like we're going a little faster. Discards the Memorialize. Okay, so not expecting to be killing this stuff too soon, or just has other stuff in hand that Fab really doesn't want to discard, but a pretty decent board to Brobnar here. That Blunderbore is going to be, is not going to be taking all the Amber, depending on what this Fiery Jark hits. So going to be some decent creature control here. Takes out the Theros Centurion, so that Amber will go on the Blunderbore. Now you can kill that to put one on Pterodactyl. Yeah, the Pterodactyl here could actually really backfire in JT. That's just going to eat all the Amber. Or Fabulosing is just going to kill it. That works too. Okay, leaves the Dino Fiend there. Does not want to give the steal away. Does not want that last Amber going on to one of her creatures. So pretty good. Solid turn there though. Stormstrong, welcome in. Good to see you. My chat box is in kind of a weird spot. I'm going to move that over just ever so slightly. Get you off of the border, screen border. All right, JT going into Untamed does get up to check here with the Low Dawn. Just a little bit of slowness on the loading. That is a Pismire there. And then we had the Reclaimed hitting the Near Future Lens. So Fab only getting to use that for one turn. again, that game too, that's one of those things that can really change how the second and third games work when you have some of those really high impact artifacts. Belligerent Guard coming down with the capture. Again, the capture pips, there's a decent amount of capture in Fab's deck, so this Curiosaurus could backfire on JT. The Belligerent Guard is a little rough because it's going to be hard to get something, like you're not going to get something the same size on the board, so that's just going to slowly pile up Amber. Just out negotiate. Not sure what you hit here. Maybe just the low dawn. Goes for Beware the Ides. Okay. Ooh, Fortune Reverser is the Dino Fiend. So getting rid of that steel text box and then fighting off the Pismire. So Fabulosing having a pretty big swing there. Stealing some Amber. So taking JT off check, also with the capture, and then getting up to 8. Taking out the Pismire so that there's not the taxing. JT does have a Resurgence, so could get the Pismire back here. Otherwise, yeah, it's probably going to be a Saurian turn to try and do some capturing or taxing with a Faust if he has it. Plays the Monument to Faust. I'm trying to remember. I think the Monument to Faust, is that just the +1 to key cost or 2 if you have... We'll see in a second here. Citizen Tricks comes down, so that's going to be some stolen Amber and a captured Amber on the Thero Centurion. So lots of ammo for this Curiosaurus, and the Faust comes down. So big hand of Saurian here for JT. Definitely stopping the key. And you are just going to exalt the Faust here because you're pretty safe doing that with this Curiosaurus down. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say it says I've got a good connection everywhere else, so it's gotta be a TCO issue. That's annoying. We'll refresh. If someone says thinking, we will refresh during that time. All right, Soul Bomb goes off here. This is going to be a lot of Amber given over to JT off of that Curiosaurus, but it does get a little bit back. Rogue Operation is going to steal some of that back now. It's Rock Hurling Giant and Burn the Stockpile, so only gets 1, and that is a lot of the key Amber control gone for Fabulosing now. Both of the Burn the Stockpile and Memorialize are gone. And that's obviously the rogue operations used there. One of the bodies has been played as well, but JT does get a key here. That is also loading slow. Very strange. I'm gonna refresh now. I'll let them. Oh, is it gonna let me refresh? Its hotkeys just don't work. Oh, it's trying. Yikes. What is going on? This is very strange because, like, yeah, none of the other sites seem to be having issues. It's still showing me JT's plays while it's got the refresh ring circling up above. But it is definitely not refreshing fast. Yikes. It kicks me out. Sorry, y'all. This is not ideal. Oh, I might have just slowed everything down again. So JT gets Faust back. How did he? There's only one Faust in his deck, right? Oh, we won't know for a minute. Oh, maybe we got it now. Okay. I thought there was only one Faust in his deck. Maybe there's 2. Oh, there are 2. Okay. So able to find the second one there. So Diz does tax that key perfectly for 9. But that is key for Fabulosing. So we're at 1-1 right now, but Fabulosing kind of needs to find some answers, some creature control here. Ooh, there's a generous offer. Pretty nice steal there. And again, we haven't seen the post pixies or the JT. Sounds like he's having some issues too. All right, fabulous. And getting some of these Equidon artifacts down pretty good here. Forbidden Tome and the Sandhopper. JT still has a little ways before flipping the deck, getting back to that. Oh, it's not going as fast. Getting back to that reclaim. Fabulous and getting up to 5 amber there, though. Off the generous offer, Alec reaped. I'm not sure where all that amber came from, because Fabulous started that turn at 0 amber, right? Azure Tooth doesn't have anything. Generous offer. I guess all the amber that was on Theros Centurion, with the capture on Palik and stuff. Some of that went there when Theros Centurion got killed. Oh, and Fabulous had no creature, so all the amber goes to her. Okay. All right, JT does start getting some of this untamed stuff down. There's the Cephalois, there's the Trimble, there's the Keyfrog, and the Post Pixies. So, unfortunately, a little bit late to stop that generous offer. Fabulous getting plenty of steel through that last cycle, but with the deck flip now, gonna have to start finding some of that creature control, which is limited now that you're not haunted. Goes back into Equidon now, gonna be able to get some value out of the Sandhopper. Actually, the Azure Tooth is pretty solid in this matchup too, right? Because how it would interact with all the captured amber from Curiosaurus. So not a bad one there. Post Pixies, good to remember, also affects capture, not just steal. I'm pretty sure. Let's see if it loads. Maybe it'll give me this one. No. At least it's down here now, but it's still not giving me the reviews. All right, so we fight off the Cephaloist. And then that sends Azure Tooth over to the other side. And then Ledger Domain it. Very nice. It does give JT an amber there, but getting to basically completely heal that. And you can still Sandhopper something in as well here. Come on, Post Pixies. There we go. Oh, it's so close. It's trying. Stolen or captured. Yeah. Okay. Scrap Scrounger coming down. And there's the Sandhopper. Returns the Scrap Scrounger, gets a Blunderbore down. Scrap Scrounger has a discard pip on it, I believe, and a capture pip. Yeah, so getting that captured amber onto the Azure Tooth feels pretty good. Getting some discards. Yeah, this with the Sandhopper is really solid. This is pretty nice into Curiosaurus. So this is a fun matchup. I like this. Some cool stuff here. Obviously, big thing is that there's not actually capture happening because of the Post Pixies. This out negotiate as well. Fabulous is still getting amber. That's the one interesting thing here. It's just not reducing. It's actually, well, so JT started this turn on 1 amber, right? 0 amber. Gave 1 because of the Ledger Domain. So what's actually interesting is Fabulosing is actually able to generate more amber here than she would have if she had done this turn without the Post Pixies, because JT would have ran out of amber to steal with all the capturing and everything. So like it did some where JT's amber total didn't go down, but Fabulosing actually able to generate more amber because the Post Pixies just gives you amber from the pile instead of from JT's only 1 there. So I mean, to be fair, Fabulosing also gave JT that 1 amber, so it would be nice to steal it back. But just kind of an interesting interaction there, where Post Pixies stops you from losing your amber, but it doesn't stop them from generating amber off of the stealing. All right, we haven't seen a whole lot of discs from JT's deck in a while, so we got some of these coming down. The Brabble feels pretty good, but with Fabulosing being on 8 here, it might just be a key and then fight the Brabble off. Ooh! Or it'll be a Pandemonium. Man, that's really interesting too. So now JT basically just generated 2 more Amber from the thin air to put on these creatures because the Post Pixie keeps Fabulosing from actually capturing Amber. Man, this is Post Pixies and Curiosaurus is some brain burner stuff. Like this kind of thing where like if you're not really watching, you don't even actually know how that's working. Very interesting stuff. Okay, so Essence Scales to destroy the Brabble, so just blowing up the 1. Does kill the Azure Tooth. We do see the Lash out here, gonna take out that Post Pixie. Not haunted though, so not able to kill the Key Frog. But the Blunderbore should be able to do some stuff. Again, not haunted, so only gonna steal or only gonna reduce by 1, but you probably need to. Ooh, does not take out the Key Frog here. Maybe it has something else for that. Does not. Okay, so Tyler's Crocag starting to take some of that Amber on. But that Faust is also just sitting there warded, so got lots of taxing for Fabulosing. Long way to get back here. That Pandemonium is pretty crazy in this deck too. Yikes. Leave it to JT. Bring a deck like this. It's cool though. This is some interesting interactions for sure. Because there's also not like a ton of bounce, right? It's mostly kill. We have not seen the Resurgence. Yeah, so that can get back the Post Pixies, as well as the Pismire or the Cephaloist. And we see the Untamed call from JT, so question is, can he get enough to Key Frog here? Yeah, 2 left in deck, so not guaranteed that he has it, but pretty likely based on the house call here. So there's 2 Amber from, oh, just Reaps with the Key Frog. I don't think he's got another way to kill the Key Frog, right? Oh, Fangtooth. If he's got the Fangtooth, that will just do it here. Nothing bigger. So that is a guaranteed key for JT now, as long as he doesn't play the Post Pixies. If he plays the Post Pixies here, he actually does not get the key. So kind of an interesting decision there. You could just go for the Cephaloist, but you're out of Amber at that point with the Key Frog firing, so maybe it doesn't matter too much. You just get some of the bigger things. Get the Pismire back maybe. Sacro Beast is massive. Got some damage pips on there. Gonna take out the Blunderbore. One of those Amber going to Sacro Beast. And then a damage going on Brick Nasty. Tyler's Crocag down with the Brick Nasty is pretty fun. You can go into any house now and still be gaining Amber off the Tyler's Crocag fighting. Feels pretty good. All right, there's the Resurgence. Let's hope JT doesn't. Okay, going for some disc stuff here. So it gets the Dino Fiend. And then Maleficorn. Okay, so just gonna do some board control next. Fires the Key Frog, gets a key, puts another Amber on Tireless Crocag. JT is up 2 keys to 1. Fabulosing goes right back into Brobnar here, gets that Rock Hurling Giant down. That's again a pretty good one, but also still just kind of frustrating with all this captured Amber on JT's creatures. It's a lot of Amber to burn through. See they burn the stockpile getting discarded. Unable to use that because of the Key Frog there for JT. All right, would you say that discard killing off the Hystricog? But that's another Amber going on Tireless Crocag. So do you have any ways to really, outside of Memorialize, and JT is right about to flip the deck, so that Memorialize even is not doing too much. Brick Nasty fighting into Faust to remove the ward. And then Crocag not going to fight the Faust, going to instead fight the Sacro Beast. Yeah, Amber is piling up on the Crocag. We've seen plenty of damage pips. I don't know if there's quite so many damage pips in the Untamed. That Sacro Beast has 2 of them. There's a second essence scale. And then we saw the Maleficorn, so Maleficorn probably just takes out the KAGI here. Along with the Demo, which demon was it? Dino Fiend. Dino Fiend also is a kill on the KAGI. And this is a nasty Curia deck. Like I thought Fabulosing's deck had a decent amount of capture too, but the problem is kind of these not being able to spread it out. JT's deck is very good, it seems, at spreading it out. We're going to Essence Scale here to destroy the Trimble and just fight with the Flumph. So I get another Amber on KAGI. Currently, Flumph is what's dying to the Fangtooth. You can't kill it yourself because it's got the Skirmish. Yeah, just a Reap. Yeah, you've got plenty of other ways to kill it, right? You don't need to fight. I guess the one thing you could do is if you fight with Flumph, you can it can pump itself so that it doesn't die to the Fangtooth, and you kill like Scrap Scrounger or even kill your own Dino Fiend to get the extra steal. So there's a small argument for killing it there. But it looks like we're gonna get the Exalt on the Dino Fiend, take out the KAGI. Take out the KAGI, I imagine. The Maleficorn damage went on the Rock Hurling Giant. And so did the damage off the Dino Fiend. Okay, so not killing either of them right now. I guess you don't necessarily need to. Oh, okay. Has Implosion. That will do it. So JT going up to 10. Wow. Yikes. This deck is blazing. Yep. And then the Flumph dies to the Fangtooth, but Fabulosing just trying to find some answers here. Star Alliance has a decent amount of answers, but you gotta have a lot. So Rogue Operations does get the steal too. Lee can bring back, have a body. Do you have anything that's better than that? Rock Hurling can capture. Yeah, gets the Rock Hurling, so that's one more capture. She's got the other body in hand. This will be a stop. Ooh, does not get the draw. Probably was looking for something off of that. So, all right. So that is game one going to JT. Pretty solid performance on that Curiosaurus deck. That's an interesting. I love that. Curiosaurus is one of those cards that like some people definitely hate it. It's fun when you can do stuff like that with it. That's a crazy deck, but it can have some really bad matchups too. So very fun for adaptive, especially. Okay, so Fabulosing going to be going first with the MM deck here. JT now on the GR deck on bottom. And we see a very similar turn one play with the Pterodactyl coming down. JT going into Brobnar, gets that Rock Hurling Giant right away, and the KAGI. Okay, so some big boys on board. But again, I think this is actually a fantastic setup because now you basically don't have to call Brobnar as long as you can just keep discarding Brobnar stuff. This can fight, and this is dealing damage. Yeah, and again, it's one of those things with artifacts especially. The sooner they come down, the more impactful they are. If it gets stuck at the bottom of the deck, this could be a completely different game for JT. We'll see. Double Essence Scale is not bad. I'm not quite sure what you use that for in this deck besides just some extra reaping. You can trigger some destroy effects like on the Dino Fiend or the Soul Keeper. Not bad. Get some extra reaps with Citizen Strix or something, but okay. KAGI fights the Maleficorn, and we get some Star Alliance stuff coming down here. Corporal Bridger gonna let him use the Rock Hurling Giant and the body coming down for no capture. Nothing in the discard for JT yet. The Mass Mutation deck again, not having like, has a lot of ping damage, some individual kills. Does not have a true board clear, so if JT can also just go real wide, could be another option, but some pretty nice Saurian stuff coming down here. We see Decision Shrix. Pterodactyl is now online, and it can just nuke so much of this Star Alliance. JT going into Equidon now, though. Gets the Sandhopper down, so still no NFL. I mean, that's the other tough one. Do you hold the Reclaimed specifically for the NFL, or is the Sandhopper scary enough? Especially with a bigger board like this. All the pips and everything can get real scary really fast. Belligerent Guard comes down, giving JT a draw there, but also taking out the Shrix because of a discarded Blunderbore off of the discard pip. Don't hold it for the NFL. Yeah. Has a generous offer here too. Discarding the Soul Bomb, so it gets another kill off of that, but we saw that Soul Bomb get some pretty decent value in game 1. Was there only 1 Amber to steal, though? Oh, no. Fabulousing was on 3. Okay, so getting a full steal there. Krokag fights and dies against the Pterodactyl. Belligerent Guard takes out the Faust and has an out-negotiate. Huge, huge Equidon turn here for JT. Getting up to 4 Amber. What was puts the Hystricog on bottom. So I'll negotiate. Yeah, only steals, but there's no Ember to steal, so just putting something on the bottom that is not something you really want to draw into late game. Yeah. Fast disc call here from Fabulosing, but this is kind of one of those things where you don't necessarily want to put him back into Equidon because the Sandhopper can kind of just get all kinds of value. I do see the implosion on the Cinder there, taking out the Rock Hurling Giant just to be able to try and keep some kind of board. This card's Pandemonium, so man, not going to be able to get the same kind of value we saw in game 1, at least on the first cycle here. Feels like Fabulous and getting definitely a little bit clunkier draw. Yeah, Curie in hand, like, I mean, she needs to find that pretty fast, except it kind of almost hurts if you don't get this Pterodactyl killed off. Again, that's just one of those, like, you can just stick cards on, or Amber on that for so long. Fortune Reverser goes on it. That's interesting. So now it is just a 12 power creature that fights for 12. Yeah, interesting. It kind of almost makes it better. No, the splash attack is probably better, but all right, we're gonna get a replay of the Belligerent Guard here. So body comes down again. No capture, not haunted yet. Guard may just come down and kill the Pterodactyl, but I think you need to leave something on board just in case the Curia comes down. Just reaping here probably feels fine. Ooh, Ledger Domains the Pterodactyl. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's not enough captured Amber for the Curia to be really impactful for a couple turns here, so Fabulosing is going to get the tax here with the Pismire. Comes down, but this is another turn without Curiosaurus. An Untamed Call. Low Dawn has nothing to shuffle, right? Sure does. So he's got to have something. Good catch on that. Got to have something, or didn't want to discard anymore from hand. Has a capture pip on it too. Very interesting discard there. I mean, he's got to be holding a whole hand. Like, he didn't play too many cards last turn. Ledger Domain. I guess he played it like 3. And discard that one. Could be Jark, could be Near Future Lens, but Near Future Lens probably not going to survive. It's a pretty decent board here for, yeah, there's a Near Future Lens. Discarding the, Rogue Operation. Oh no, reveals the Rogue Operation. Discard Shopping Spree. Whew. It's like, yikes. Starline's turn, so you can do some damage against this board, but if you don't, then these Essence Scales are going to start doing tons of work with all this skirmish fighting. Yeah, I think you need to do some fighting here. Takes out a Flume, does get some capture now. Actually haunted. Corporal Bridger is going to let him use the guard. Not worried about the Key Frog yet. Not enough Amber on Fabulosing side, so this is definitely looking rough for Fabulosing. Needs to find Curia and some more of that Dino stuff. Try and get this kind of change the game up in the Mass Mutation deck's favor. But also needs to find the Reclaim now. Okay, so we do see the Untamed Call here again. But imagine this has got to be a Reclaim. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more captured Amber on the GR side now. So playing Curia is tough, but I don't know that this Mass Mutation deck generates enough Amber without the Curia. I guess we didn't really get to see, right? We only saw what it does when it has the Curia, which was a lot. Fights off the body, so get some of that Amber back. Trimble looks like it's probably going to fight this Corporal Bridger. Palik is also, I mean, they're both basically feel like, what's the word, versatile creatures, but Palik is the extra capture, which is not great to play Curia into, so. This is a lot of value for JT. Still sitting on the board. Yeah, the versatile capturing is definitely worth taking out. Almost halfway through the deck, though, and still no Curiosaurus, and JT keeping this board clear, so the Essence Scale is not really getting much value. Going back into Ecodon, just going to keep getting value off this Sandhopper. And probably this Belligerent Guard. Forbidden Tome comes down, so this one is each Haunted player. So this is going to help both players at this point, but I actually think it might help Fabulosing because JT's probably going to flip the deck faster. Okay, so we see the Azure Tooth. We see the Helmsman Spears come down. Helmsman Spear is also pretty solid in this deck. There's a decent amount of good scrap effects going on in here. I mean, Spears is just good regardless. Like, it's such a good card, but in GR it actually gets even better with the scrap effects. Hasn't played Brobnar for a bit here, so probably sitting on a little bit more of that. But again, if this Spears lives, I don't think you really worry about going into Brobnar. Okay, we see the Beware the Eye. It's going to have the damage pip to take out the Spears, and then I think Spears is worse in GR than in Worlds Collide. You don't have the warding in Star Alliance, so there's definitely an argument that it's just more likely to get used, and the actual Star Alliance cards you're going to draw into, aside from things like Lee and stuff. But you also have things like Rhea. I have, like, my name deck has Rhea in there, so you can get the Spears trigger from hand, which was a lot harder to do in Worlds Collide. So they do feel different. Worlds Collide feels a lot more like you can just make a sticky board of Star Alliance, and Spears on that board is horrifying. This, it's more kind of just like there's a lot more all-around value, even if you don't draw into more Star Alliance. It's just like you get value just by discarding cards, right? You get more Haunted, you get scrap effects. But yeah, I could see it's definitely different, but I think that's more just the composition of the Star Alliance house in each set. Okay, Fabulosing, pretty big turnaround here. Lots of dinos coming down. The Curiosaurus does come down. Lots of Amber on those dinos, so see if she can make a comeback here from this position. Looks better. The burn stockpile really hurts. Again, in game one, the Brobnar Amber control got like discarded or discarded for no value or randomly discarded multiple times, and so actually getting value off of that, it's gotta hurt for Fabulosing. Fiery Jark comes down. Gonna be able to put a lot of, well, yeah, this is tougher now. You only have one more creature, and it's the Azure Tooth. You kind of want to keep that alive because of how it interacts with the Curiosaurus. But decides to just go for the Amber there. Going to kill the Theros Centurion, probably. You're not close to forging, so killing the Faust here doesn't feel too bad. Or killing the Thero doesn't feel too bad, leaving the Faust, but decides instead to just go for killing the Trimble. And now there's no creatures on JT's side, so the Curiosaurus has basically no effect until he plays creatures again. Ooh, and has the Ornar Skullface discard there to be able to kill off the Faust, get that Amber. Battleissing back down to 3 Amber and staring down nothing across the board for the Curiosaurus to get value on. But Soul Bomb got discarded a while ago, I believe. Yeah, that was discarded pretty early on. So not going to have value on that for this cycle. And it could just get purged, depending on where Fabulousing gets in the deck, if she can find the Reclaimed again. I think getting rid of the Sandhopper is probably more worth it. Okay, Fabulousing gets the Monument down, gets another Thero down. I do think the GR deck probably still has to play creatures. I don't know if you can really do a no creature game. It's tough to say. The Soul Exchange is not bad. Goes for the one with only 1 Amber on it. Interesting. Since this one has the damage, it's a little bit easier to kill. We do see the Gemcoat Vendor coming down, so he's not going no creatures, but also does not Sandhopper, so not looking at too many creatures in hand or nothing he wants to play, or maybe just doesn't want another discard. Fabulousing going into Dis. This could be the Mark of Dis. I don't think we've seen... Yeah, there's the Mark of Dis. And we'll see if she's got enough damage pips to finish off the Vendor, but you kind of don't want to finish off the Vendor here, right? Yeah, even with this Dino Fiend, yeah. I'd be pretty tempted to just hit the damage on the Dino Fiend there. Just leave the Gem Code alive. But it's a tough balance, and Fabulousing knows how well this deck can generate Amber without playing creatures, so might just be saying kind of either way, you're in trouble here because you have to deal with my board, and to do that or to get more Amber, you need your own board. And Essence Scale is going to start doing some stuff here. Probably don't go for the second one. Getting to 7 is tempting, especially knowing that the Burn the Stockpile is the Memorialize gone. Memorialize is also gone. Okay. And JT has a 0 turn, has to call Equidon and pass because of that Mark of Dis. So we do see a key for Fabulousing, and JT has not gained much more Amber since that first initial burst. So starting to swing more in Fabulousing's favor. I think just as the artifacts start piling up, it gets a little bit tricky. JT will be the first one to flip the deck, though, which not by much, but that is... Oh, wait, no. It's Fabulousing's turn. Fab could flip the deck here. Spreading out the Amber with the Chant of Hubris. Getting some Reaping. Yeah, Monument to Faust is just the taxing. Well, did the creature even, like, do much? Fab didn't really use it to get value. Oh, I guess it did because of the Mark of Dis. Yeah, that's the other reason not to play it there. Yeah, there's probably the Curia and the Mark of Dis are good reasons not to play it. I wasn't even thinking about the Mark of Dis at the start of that turn. Ooh, nice 0 cards and draw Retro Technician. So you've got basically whatever creature you want. I don't know what that is here, unless you have some discard pips. Again, you could grab the Rock Hurling Giant, but that's flipping the deck, which you don't necessarily know if you want to do. Body's nice just to get some captured Amber. Fiery Jark is nice to just clean up some of this board, but again, all this Amber now makes clearing the board tough. Okay, yep, goes for the body, like you predicted. It's almost like You guys like have similar play. I don't know if you guys actually do have similar play styles, but you play with each other more than so I don't even know if that's true. You guys are practicing or not, but you guessed right. You both love Curia. Yeah. I need to go find I have some fun Curia decks. The one that I liked the most was just so slow. And so I just kind of stopped playing it. So the survey with the drop hip flips the deck for JT. The logo of the disc. Oh, the team Discord is Curiosaurus. Nice. Next, I feel like that's one that like JDG would like too. It's a fun card. It's definitely a divisive card, but I'm a fan. Okay, Fabulousing finding some damage here is down on Amber, but I mean this board is now getting much scarier. Oh yeah, now in stereo too. Nice. Ooh, and the ward from the defense initiative now. Not a lot of ping damage in Alma, so be interesting. Gonna just kill off the body there. And the spears, yeah. So lots of amber on this Thero Centurion, but at this point, you know, JT can kill it. You're still getting taxed for a bunch. There comes the Soul Bomb, so that will be pretty big. JT already haunted again after the flip. And lots of big dudes coming down. Fabulous thing though does have the Soul Keeper, so yeah, there's a chance this disc turn could actually just load up a bunch of amber on this Blunderbore and then take it out with the Dino Fiend and get some stealing. There's a Brabble that gets you an Essence Scale pretty easy. Just Cinder, gonna try and protect that Thero Centurion. There's definitely gonna be some scrap effects that can just take it out, but do what you can. Mr. Cog. All right, so sequencing here to try and get the most amber. So fights the Dino Fiend, so that's just basically 2 stolen amber as it is, right? Oh. So did the Soul Keeper one first, then move the amber from Curiosaura onto Headhunter. Interesting. Yeah, that probably was just a misclick. I mean, you could still kill the Headhunter here if you want, if you just start doing Essence Scale stuff, but I think, yeah, you want to do the Curia onto Blunderbore. There's not really a reason not to. Get a Reap with Histricog. Yeah, yeah. You want to... Yeah, because now the Headhunter is going to have the Destroyed effect, so just killing it, you don't get that Amber. Yeah. But, I mean, that's Curiosaurus. That's one of the reasons why you bring it, is you have to get that sequencing down to really get the most value out of it. Fabulosing is still in a pretty solid spot here, but could have maybe gotten a little bit more value out of that turn. Yeah, I mean, now it's kind of like you're not really incentivized to clear the board. I feel like there still could have been a little bit more essence scaling happening there. Just blow up the Brabble and Reap with the Histricog again or something. Yeah, I mean, that could even be just new UI stuff. You know, they tried to make those kind of selections easier, but just kind of not thinking about how it's all going to work. Yeah, that's true. You got to just take out the Headhunter and then Soul Bomb. But yeah, that actually gets JT a ton of amber. Ooh, and has the Lash Out to remove the wards. Yikes. Very big. Does lose the 3 amber off the Brabble. And that's a lot of the Amber control gone for Fabulosing as well, because that's both of the Fausts gone. And probably sitting on, yeah, a big Hand of Untamed. I could find the Pismire and stuff here, but haven't seen... Oh, discards the Fangtooth. Interesting. Haven't seen the Post Pixies at all. There's the Cephaloist. But needs one more Amber for that to really work, but there's the Post Pixies, so any more steel from JT, not going to be doing anything for a bit. But yeah, I mean, that's an untaxed key after a big Amber swing for JT, so on 4 with 2 keys. This is not looking good for Fabulosing. Going into Equidon. There's a Soul Exchange. You probably kill the Pose. Oh, does not kill the Pose Pixies here. Gets rid of the Key Frog. Okay, so wants to remove any comeback chance. Gives back a Thero as well. I don't really care too much about that. See how he decides to deal with this stuff, though. Gemco Vendor with a discard, so this could be like an Ornar Skullface or something. Discards burn the stockpile. Interesting. Because now that the Key Frog is gone, especially burn the stockpile, like there's a decent chance that Fabulosing goes to 7 on one of these turns. Discards a shopping spree, so definitely has some stuff in hand that he wants to keep, but gets that Palic down. Like we said, very, very solid into Curiosaurus with the versatile capturing. But Where the Eye's just going to nuke that Gemcoat Vendor. Get some damage on the Palic. Again, the Theros Centurion went back to Fabulosing off of the Soul Exchange. Citizen Shrix coming down as well here. Let's see if Fab can get into check. Cannot. It's rough. You're sitting in a little bit better spot again, but this Palic is going to get a lot of value. Again, this Azure Tooth can get a ton of value. Depending on how the Amber moves from the Curiosaurus. But JT does need to be careful. These are both active now. Going back into Equidon 2, that's it's one of the houses that does the most stealings. So it is one of the houses that does the most stealing. Palic 2 just throws Amber on creatures rather than capturing it here. Belligerent Guard, same thing. You are going to get the discard here. So again, this could be Ornar Skullface, so that'll take out the Post Pixies. So generates 1 Amber, but that's going to get destroyed anyways by Azure Tooth. Or, let's see, it moves through the pool. Okay, so that's kind of just like, yeah, gaining an Amber off the Belligerent Guard. But because the guard is bigger, you can't really stack more Amber on this Azure Tooth right now. Kill off the Cornicen, that's too much Amber control. Ledger Domains the guard. Crazy. Do you replay it though and give Fabulosing a 9-card hand? He does. Azure Tooth's got the Amber on it. Palic can do another capture here as well. This is, yeah, friendly creature captures 1. Has another Skullface to discard, so 2 Ornar Skullfaces, 2 there off of the discard pips. Great creature control. Belligerent Guard Reaps, Palic Reaps. Azure Tooth is going to move all that Amber as well. Might as well fight the Cephaloist just to deal with it. Oh, he did play the Out-Negotiate. But I'm not sure it's going to... How does he play? Oh, he Ledger Domained it the first time, so we might see the Belligerent Guard again. Capturing another one. Again, that's basically stolen by Azure Tooth here. Man. Yeah, tons and tons of value. And this is an amber total that, especially with both Faust gone, I don't think Fabulousing can deal with. So crazy. Very well played by JT. So I mean, you called the Soul Bomb being really big. I think JT just, again, I think it is hard for this GR deck not to play creatures. The control of the board felt like it kind of swung to Fabulosing's side almost at the wrong time. Like she played the Curio when she got control of the board. And at that point, it was easier for JT to have nothing on board, um, so that the Curia could get kind of nullified. All right, Fabulosing going into this Pandemonium. Depends on how many creatures you have here, but you need a lot and some other stuff, I think, for the Pandemonium to be enough. Yeah, there's going to be 5 captured. That'll be it. JT taking it 2-0. Very, very nasty. Nasty stuff. But well played. Yeah, that's a really interesting one. Kind of what happened differently. Curia definitely came in later in this game, but again, Fabulosing took control of the board at the same time the Curia came down. Yep, it is. It is. I mean, I don't feel like there was many misplays aside from the one we saw, right? It's hard to know, like, without seeing the hands and stuff, if there would have been different turns you could have taken or whatever. But yeah, I think we just saw there's some things we saw JT able to really take advantage of in terms of how they play with the Curia that we did not see Fabulosing get to do in game one. The Azure Tooth just like was it like on the wrong turns or whatever. Yeah, maximizing the incremental value, which again we saw a little bit of that not happening, but yeah, there's a decent amount of discarding in this. We did see JT discard some cards of the active house in order to not play discard pips several times, which, given that they're sloppy pips, is a little bit insulting, but you know. I still love Pon Padro. It's a great adaptive deck. Very, very fun. Not doing anything too crazy, but can also have some really interesting plays. There's a lot of decisions to make with it for sure. But this mass mutation deck is something else. It's pretty nasty. I'm kind of glad I've seen it in case I see it in the March Madness, which if y'all are watching and you don't know about that, it's probably too late because the signups went in like half a day. But sign up anyways because they might expand it to 64 people. All right. So let's take a look at the bracket here. So JT and Fabulosing just finished up here. So JT is going to be taking this spot. And we saw the winner of this match just earlier today over on Captain Gale's stream. And we've still got, I don't believe either of these have been played yet, if I'm correct. I think this one's going to be tomorrow afternoon. And I'm not sure if this one's been scheduled yet. But Lavinus Twitch making a huge run. Super fun to see Cam doing well in this. I think he's only been playing, I think this is only his second season maybe of KAGI. I can't remember, but it's fun. So this should be a really fun match. It's kind of mid-afternoon for me, so I don't think I'm going to be able to stream it, unfortunately. I don't know if Captain Gale will just end up streaming it himself or what, but yeah, very excited to see how the rest of this shakes out. And otherwise, like I was saying, the March Madness is being run over on the Sloppy Lab Work Discord. It is a best of one adaptive. Is it single elimination? It's a brutal tournament from what I remember. I think it's really rough, but best of one adaptive is always fun. Very different game from best of 3 adaptive, but all right. congrats to JT on that. Congrats also to Fabulosing on making it this far. Always doing well in KAGI. Always a great competitor. But yeah, JT is gonna see if he can carry the sloppy lab work flag. He's the last one, right? Yeah. Last sloppy lab worker in there, so see if he can do it. But thanks all for hanging out and watching. We will see you next time on Phlox'em and for more adaptive KAGI, all the good stuff going on. Oh no, so it's rigged is what you're saying. There you have it, everyone. Quick draw predicted JT, and surprise, surprise, he is making it all the way to the semifinals already. No, that's fun. It's cool to see him kind of getting some wins in here. But all right, thanks all. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.